right? Okay. So if we set A equal to A plus B, that's going to result, well, in A equals 10 and B equals 3, right? Okay? So if we were then like B equals A minus B, A equals 10 and B equals 7, and then if we were like A is equal to A minus B, A would be 3, B is equal to 7. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So A is A plus B, and then after that we do B is A minus B, and then A is A minus B. See what's happening there? Excuse me. So characters, so A in this case would be characters at I, and B would be characters at other index, right? So it would be characters at I is equal to characters at other index plus characters at I, right? And then characters at other index would be equal to characters at I minus characters at other index. And characters at I is equal to characters at I minus characters at other index. So at the end of the day, we have a int array. So we do, I think arrays.stream is probably, yep, you can take an int array. So we have arrays.stream. We have a do characters dot map to a I char I, and then we'll pass that into, we'll return new string dot to array. It's actually maybe map to obj. Yeah. Let's take a value. It's an int, and then char value. Let me think about this for a sec. So we have, let's get rid of this guy. Actually. So we've got arrays.stream characters. So that gives us a int stream, right? Yep. So then we can do, if we do map, that returns an int stream also. So we map it to a different type of stream. Here we can do long stream, int stream. We have to do map to Oj to give us a stream of character. So we do, the input would be I, and what we're going to map to object, we're going to do, like a new character. No. Then, oh yeah, dot to array. Then this like a new char array. 0. You know what? Let's stop trying to be fancy with streams so I can get this solution done. Let's do this. Let's do char array chars equal to new char array of length is characters dot length. And then for int I equals 0, I is less than chars I plus, then chars at I is equal to characters equal to casting characters at I. Chars dot length. And then return chars. New string. Well, let's do this. Let's do another test. That's worst half ints test. Then I don't remember the name of this method. Worst half ints. Makes sense. Ints. Well, let's run this one test. It works, yay! So we kind of rabbit hole a little bit there. But you see here, we took the code point for each character, made an array of those code points. There's the numbers that represent characters. And when we have numbers, using arithmetic, we can swap those values of those numbers. And so we're swapping the code point values using that arithmetic. So this one will have the one that was here, and this one will have the one that was here. And then at the end of the day, we're converting those numbers back into their character equivalents. And then we're converting that into a string again.
How's that in terms of memory and speed?
Well, because we had to do this, memory's not great. It's really fast, because this is all going to be probably optimized out to some complicated thing in the compiler. So if we look at the compilation target here, so we have, if we go into our class files, and we go to this main.class, this is the decompiled version of this. Yeah, it looks like the decompiled version it didn't optimize it too much, but could have just did the minus equals thing here. So, I mean, from a memory standpoint, we had to maintain a copy of that character array now, so that kind of sucks. But if we didn't have to do, like, if I could had a little bit more time, I could convert this stream back into an int stream, and it would be pretty performant. So, cool. I think in this case, yeah. All right, so we kind of rabbit hole a little bit with our practice problems, but we did 2 of them, and I think they're both pretty enlightening, so I'm okay with that. But it's almost 11 o'clock now, so let's take a break. Okay, and then I feel like our lecture today on generics is going to maybe take up, like we'll get into that next week also. I guess it won't be the last time we see generics. Okay, so let's take a break. Let's plan on being back here at 11 o'clock, okay? No, I don't think so. We don't have that planned right now. I would say that I'm working on the homework right now. Because we have, like, we're not following the curriculum anymore. So the homework assignments we have already in place are not valid anymore. So what I'm mocking up right now is I'm making a I'm making the assignment currently.
Okay.
But I got a pretty good idea.
All right. The I found the partials assignment.
Yeah.
Because there weren't a lot of clear guidelines, so I kept like,
Yeah.
how much back end code do I need to write? So
there's going to be more of that
there's going to be more of that.
with this homework.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's actually, it's good that it's difficult because that means that we're targeting the right thing. So that's going to be what you'll be doing in a job.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a clarification. So like, I have so many questions about like, I'm trying to mock up, and I used basically the most basic framework there. But I was like, how like company? I have a name and I have a description. But okay, so I need a company class, and where am I going to store those, and like all that. So I was
Yeah.
like, if I do everything that my mind is working on, this is going to take like a day or more because I'm going to have to create a database and
Yeah.
store all that. And I was like, I don't think.
We've made like 6 million databases at this point, Mike.
I know. But then I was like, does he want this? Like, this isn't a big deal. I can do this, but I feel like I'm missing the point of the assignment.
The point of the assignment was for you to get used to breaking down a wireframe into view components, like those partials.
Okay.
Yep.
And I was like, I feel like it's an easy way out. Like, it's an easy one, but breaking it into parts. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like,
We're going to be expanding on that this weekend. What I want you to give you a glimpse of what I have imagined for this weekend is we're going to build your website. Like, we're going to build a website that talks about you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to, you can make your own wireframe if you want to. I'm not going to make that a requirement, but I'm going to make it optional. It's for you to build a wireframe, and I'll give you a wireframe website to work with. But what I want is for you to build a website that has authentication, and then when you're authorized, or when you're logged in, you can make a new blog post or a new like a news entry, right? So like a news entry page, and then you can update like the news. Like if you're not logged in, you see the list of entries, right? And then you have like a home page and about page and stuff like that. But ideally, it would be like the page is about you, it's centered around things you like with an added news section. So it's open ended. You can add anything you want, any page you want to the website. The only requirement is that you have to be able to log in and update like an updates page, right? And then what you're gonna get practice with there is everything combined all together, right? That's gonna include like deploying to Heroku and using a database and like user authentication and splitting apart a actual website into different components. So once you can do that, so we're at like week 8, right? This is week 8. This is the end of week 8. This is a big deal, guys. We're almost there. So this assignment is a reflection of what you'll be doing on a daily basis at a job. Right? So we're ramping up to that. We're almost there. So your completion of this assignment is like tying all those pieces back together again. So you're sitting pretty. If you can do this assignment this weekend, then you're definitely like really in a great shape, right? The next week we're gonna get into some advanced like how to generate. Like we're gonna do some fancy stuff like how to tack on like additional HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to your site and make it look better. And then we'll talk about some like, if you want to use Lambda expressions and generics in your code, how to define those as well. So, yeah. In fact, the more I'm thinking about this, I think that today's practice problems. No, we'll go over to some generics right now. But we won't go into too much detail. We can anticipate like maybe a reiteration, especially since most people are absent today, of like the creation of generics and functional interfaces next week also. We're going to cover it again.
I'm really interested in generics because it seems like Avery's been using them started, like, in his practice problems.
Yeah.
Every time I hear generics, I'm like, I want to learn that.
Well, we've been using generics.
I don't really know what generics are.
A generic is a, well, we'll get to that when we
Start
start a lecture.
Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get some coffee also, and then we'll start back up again. So, adoring fans, we will be back in just a minute. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's see. Stream is up. Fuck. No way. No, it's not. No, it's not.
We use Bootstrap.
Yeah, dude. I think Bootstrap is a great choice. You're back.
Really brought 2 sandwiches today?
Yeah, because when I buy bread,
Oh, yeah.
I buy 2 of those and I freeze one and then I take it out.
It sucks.
It seems to be a little bit more. It's definitely warmer in here, but it feels like it might be warmer in here than it is up there.
Yeah, I think so too.
You did
Oh,
for
God.
lunch.
I wish I had a big blanket right now. Okay, are we having a 2? We're reading. Ow! Sure enough. I like wasn't in the mood to like sleep. Yeah. Tonight? This weekend? I don't want to create a website about myself. Create about clothing.
Little what?
Under the weather.
All right, we're back. So before we get into generics, let's talk about a downside of polymorphism. Not polymorphism, about making things general. All right. So say you have let's do new package like generics reasoning. I'm a big fan of making new packages today. So let's make another main class in here so we can start from scratch. We don't have to pollute our minds with all the other things going on, right? So I just made a new package called generics reasoning. Don't worry about like the naming or anything. We're going to talk about that. Just wanted to like get a new space to work in, basically, right? So if we had a method that we wanted to, well, first of all, let's think about this. In Java, you can specify what are called overloads for methods by changing the parameters, but you can have the same name of the method, right? So if we had like methods here, it's like public int return an object. Okay. So this seems like a dumb thing to do, and it is, right? You just return the same thing you passed in, right? So if you wanted to be able to do this dumb thing for ints and for strings, you have a different method. For like double, for instance,